Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is our NXT review. And I gotta say, a fun episode of NXT tonight. We kept the focus on the women for a good part of the show, which I liked because we know that the triple threats and stuff are actually going to be beginning next week. There's going to be one of the triple threat matches to see what TakeOver Houston's going to look like as far as the NXT Women's Championship Fatal 4-Way is going to be. So that was nice. We got Kairi Sane in action, and so my heart is so happy. That was a great part of the show tonight. Amazing development with Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream. I am loving that feud so much already. And it was all capped off by a really fun, great NXT Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Roderick Strong with a post-match that just left me grinning like an idiot. Partner, what did you think of tonight's NXT?
Definitely a solid episode. I think that tonight, more than in recent memory, NXT was closer to being like the better of the two shows between NXT and Lucha Underground. We did have a lot of great things to talk about with Lucha, but for some reason, I just felt like everything hit for me tonight on NXT. It's weird.
It's great that you say that because our first segment is Heat of the Night, and I really have no heats of the night or nitpicks. I really just want to get to talking about the show. What about you?
Yeah, no, I don't have any problems with this show at all. Nothing negative to say about it, actually, which is, I feel like if you would go back a couple of years, that would be like the norm for NXT reviews. But over the last couple of years, we've definitely been a lot more critical of the product, and we've just kind of felt like the quality has dipped. But man, tonight's show was really good.
Yeah. So let us get right into our NXT review, and we open up with Ruby Riott in a tag team match against the Iconic Duo. But wait, where's Nikki Cross? Well, isn't that quite a quandary? And partner, because you're kind of leading the power of positivity, because you seem to really be feeling this episode of NXT, I'm going to have you go first. What do you think about this opener?
Yeah, the opener was pretty solid. If I had to complain about anything tonight, it's that we keep on doing this exact same angle with Nikki Cross getting into so-called handicap matches with Ruby Riott against the Iconic Duo, and they end up beating the Iconic Duo. So if I really did have to complain about anything, it would be A, the repetitiveness, and B, making the Iconic Duo look weak as hell.
Yeah, that is one thing. I really enjoyed this. I thought Ruby Riott did a great job in that underdog babyface role. Peyton Royce, to me, I've just got to give her credit for a second. Man, does she know how to emote and be animated? Because there was one point where Ruby Riott kicked out of something. I think it was that bulldog onto the knee, and Peyton Royce's face was just
and her scream.
Yeah. How could this happen to me? Like, it was delicious. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, too, about making them look weak, because I always had the vision with these two that they'd be like the Mean Girls, except they'd actually like run the division. Like, they'd have the credibility to go with it. And it's really kind of been dispiriting that neither one of them has held the women's championship yet, particularly, again, Peyton, who has really grown on me since, she's been getting more exposure. That said, again, got to give big ups to Ruby Riott. I thought she did great. Nikki Cross's appearance, was characteristic of her. The moment she gets the tag, the tide immediately shifts. What did you think about them working together? Because the crowd seemed to be into it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I just can't get into this version of Nikki Cross, man. Like, I feel bad about it because I know she's got a lot of fans and people that really like her, but I'm just like, I just don't get it. I don't know why she's doing this. Like, the random grunts in matches is annoying as hell to me, and it just doesn't connect with me at all.
She's one of those rare cases where, like, I want to like her, but I feel like I can't get fully invested in her. Because with most talents, I'm either I really like you or I just don't care for you. And she's the case where I do want to like you. It's just something is stopping me from making that full investment. And I do think it's again, the gimmick. It didn't get on my nerves quite as much tonight as it has in recent times, oddly enough. I actually did like synergy between them, or at least a little bit that we saw of it, between Ruby Riott saving Nikki from the double team, and then Nikki making the tag to Ruby, and Iconic Duo turns around into that drop kick by Ruby. But they win after Billie Kay, I think, eats a eat defeat from Ruby Riott. And Nikki Cross just kind of looks at her, laughs, and then she walks off, I guess, back to her own business. I really hope things change with the Iconic Duo, because if I did have the pickiest of nits, it's really exactly what you echoed earlier. These women need to get back on a winning track. They need to be taken more seriously. I still think they're one of the best things on NXT. They may even start beginning in that underrated territory with how they've been booked, because we know they can do more than this shit. And yeah, I just hope for better things for them. But yeah, solid tag match for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so after this, this might have been my favorite thing that we got all night, other than the Dream Black thing. We got a recap of Lars Sullivan's attempted assault of Oney Lorcan last week, and ended up getting cut short by Danny Burch. But then we got an interview with Lars Sullivan. It was Christy St. Cloud doing the interview, and I just love this character. Like, to me, there are some people that might compare him to the Hulk, but to me, he is so much more Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, he has this intelligent side to him, and like, even when he turns into the monster, it's not him just completely losing control and turning into a rage monster. He's conscious and aware of what he's doing. He's just like, embracing his brutal side. So it's like Mr. Lars and Dr. Sullivan to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I love you for saying that, man, because I've been big on the Lars Sullivan character for a while now. Yeah. And I think that's the best articulation I've heard of it. And of course, it would come out of your mouth. I love this. I love this, man. I think I love that we're seeing in recent years, and I've said this over and over again with Braun and with other guys, that we're seeing the fresh coat of paint on the big man archetype. And I think with Lars, you hit it on the head. He's a guy, he isn't a mindless brute. He's very conscious about the tools at his disposal, and he utilizes them better than most. And, he said that he's unequivocally in control. And I would advise Danny Burch to be in control as well next week, in control of his fear. And I got to say, too, dude, I don't know how you felt about this, and I'm guessing you were high on it, given that you just went out of your way to make the parallel that you did. I actually thought this was a solid promo here from Lars Sullivan. I thought it was short, sweet, to the point, and it wasn't as really as bad as I thought it was going to be. I didn't know what to expect, because I liked the little bit that we've heard him talk, but I'm like, yeah,
Did you pick up on some of the nuance here? Like, this is this gigantic, scary monster, and he literally said the words unequivocally and categorically.
Yeah, like, I'm telling you, dude, this guy is me and James's love child, because he has, like, my verbiage, and yet he has, like, James's baldness and, like, everything else, because James can be...
Wow, I love that James's baldness is the character that you decided to take from him to put on Lars.
Yeah, I mean, hey, James wouldn't deny it.
Of course, it's not his vapidness or his over, like, ruthless style or anything. No, it's just that he doesn't have hair on his head.
Well, yeah, and I did say everything else, which would also entail the aggressiveness, because God knows James could be very aggressive with me, but that's another story for another time.
That's a different kind of aggressiveness.
Yeah, I mean, I look at him and I'm like, God damn, like, this is what Damian Sandow would be like if he ate, like, gamma radiation or just a shit ton of roids. Take your pick. The guy's the freak. The guy's a freak, but he's an eloquent freak, and I like that. It's different, He's not George the Animal Steel eating fucking turnbuckles. We've come a long way, which is really nice. So, great promo here. I'm actually excited for him versus Burch next week. We're actually getting a lot of good stuff next week, because we're getting that. We're getting Andrade Gargano 2, which there's going to be a segment later on that we'll talk about, that brings that match back to the forefront, and one of the first women's triple threats to fill out the Fatal 4-Way. So, yeah, next week is looking actually quite promising. So good promo here from Lars, and that's all I got to say about it.
Absolutely. All right. So Lars did this interview, and then we got to the paparazzi, I believe, trying to get Zelina Vega to answer some questions in the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her. It looked hot outside, and these people are just hounding her. Oh, please, Zelina, just one question.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of vapid.
Yeah, right. And they pretty much ask her, how do you and Andrade feel about Gargano getting the rematch next week. And Zelina, in my mind, rightfully points out, not in so many words, of course, that Johnny is just a little bitch that hasn't gotten over his breakup with Ciampa yet. And, you know, she just knew because she's a puppet master. Now that
I
she did.
Yeah, she literally referred to herself as a puppet master. I loved that. That was great. She talked about.
I love.
I don't have a problem with the rematch because I want Andrade to be able to beat Gargano over and over and over again. And of course, she's trying to make Brooklyn accent, so it was over and over and over again.
Yeah, and she says because if we do that, given that Gargano's the golden boy, it'll bring Andrade closer to that NXT championship. I gotta tell you, man, there are a few things in life that get me more erect than the words Andrade and NXT title in the same sentence.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, I don't want Andrade to go after the title now because everyone knows Drew's going to hold the title for forever. Like, he'll probably drop it on, like, whatever the takeover is between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Like, he won't drop it on a major show. And it's a long time. So I don't want Andrade going after the title now because that means he's not going to win it.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't want him to go after now. And I think whenever I express my enthusiasm to people, they take it that I want him to win the title now, which, I mean, obviously I do want him to win the title and any time would be fine with me. But I understand he's got to be built up first. And I do enjoy the build-up they're giving him. I am a bit scared he's going to lose to Johnny next week, but I'm curious to see if they can still make the build-up credible, even if he does take a
loss. But what if he doesn't, though? What if he goes 2-0 against Gargano?
Dude, you know I'm going to laugh so hard about that. It's going to be such a fun review for that reason. Like, we'll get to that match, and my review is just going to be laughing at Johnny the entire time. The same way Ciampa always laughed at him behind his back before the betrayal finally happened.
Wow. Okay, so now it's not just that he betrayed him, it's that he hated him the whole time and planned to betray him eventually anyway.
I mean, he probably did. I have a good feeling about these things. And so, yeah, I love the confidence that Zelina has in Andrade. I feel like Andrade can speak for himself, but you know what? Zelina really hasn't been bad. Like, I enjoyed this segment with her. I'm really looking forward to Johnny and Andrade doing it again because I'll be honest, like, I thought their match was one of the best matches at that takeover because they're both phenomenal at what they do.
Yeah.
So seeing it again next week, I actually kind of hope that's the main event. I don't think it will be, but I'd be totally fine with that being the main event and getting like 15 minutes. Just have them kill it. So anything else you want to say about this before we move on?
No, I do like that she was like, oh, yeah, and by the way, we are the ones that did Gargano a favor by putting him in the spotlight at TakeOver.
That's right. Him and his irrelevant ass.
So then we get a recap of last week when Eric Young lost to Adam Cole, and we find out that in 2 weeks we are getting Sanity versus the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, should be a fun match, and that's 2 weeks. Man, NXT's doing all this advanced, but you know what though? I like that. I like that NXT. I feel like they've been doing that more lately. It's good shit. All
right. Here we go. It's time for this segment. Here we go.
Oh, you go first on this one, brother. This is all you right now.
Lio Rush makes his NXT debut. He's on his way out. We find out that he's got a match with Aleister Black, but during Aleister Black's entrance, Velveteen Dream attacks and really just kind of beats the shit out of Lio Rush, finishing him off with the Purple Rainmaker. But that's not all, because while he was on the top rope setting up for the Purple Rainmaker, he held his hands up to his head in like surrender cobra position and did a hip grind in Aleister's general direction while like eye contact and everything. The elbow drop, and then he slides out of the ring, and Aleister gets into it and sits right in the middle like he normally does in like the Indian style sitting position. And as Dream is walking out, he's telling Aleister, acknowledge me, say my name. I'm going to make you say my name. I love this so much. I love think about this.
I'm trying to keep the laughs in, but it's so hard.
Don't just laugh. It's amazing.
Bro, I've got kind of a mental laundry list of points, but I want you to go first about why you loved all this like you did, because I am so all over this feud right now.
I mean, first of all, I love that we got to see the really, really ruthless side of Velveteen Dream with the way he beat the shit out of Lio Rush. Like, we haven't seen a beatdown that brutal in NXT in a while, and Dream brought it, and Lio sold it like a king, because he is a freaking king, damn it. And like, yeah, man, I'm just Dream to me is the complete package. Like, obviously, Aleister Black is this amazing talent and he deserves the world too, but damn, I love Velveteen Dream. He's so good.
Here were my notes in order of importance. Damn, Leo Rush can take a beating. I mean, you said we haven't seen a beating like that in so long. The last person I thought the name that immediately came to my mind was Dan Matha, phallic head Dan Matha.
I thought you were going to say Sami Zayn.
Second of all, well, you know, every time I can throw Sammy under the bus. Second of all, that elbow drop from Dream. Damn, that elbow drop was fucking sick. Third of all, Aleister Black, because I know he got in a debate with one of those puffing my chest out, I'm going to prove to everybody I'm an alpha male kind of dude bros on Twitter. No, I'll tell you what, man, Aleister was more of a man than me. He was more of a man than probably Silas Young, because props to you for not breaking that eye contact. He looked right at him. He's like, nope, not going to react to it. Whereas me, I would just be like, I need an adult. I am an adult. You know, it would be that high-pitched squee when your butt cheeks come together and you know something very bad is about to happen to you right now. So credit to Aleister for not breaking that eye contact. And then Velveteen Dream with one of the best Jeb Bush impressions I've ever seen. Acknowledge me! Say my name. I love everything about this. I am not gonna lie. I know this feud is still like in its infancy. This is on the fast track to being my WWE feud of the year. Like right now, it's Usos New Day because I feel like they've been killing it and I don't want to do them a disservice. But this has been so fucking good. And you know what, dude? I'm glad that you went out of your way to really praise Dream, because let's be honest here. We all know at this point how great Aleister Black is. I'm not trying to do him a disservice, but we all already know it. We need to keep the focus on Velveteen Dream here, because if we don't, and if other people looking at this feud don't,
we don't want him to get Stardust.
Exactly. I don't want him to be an afterthought in this when he's been putting his back into this feud, because he knows he needs it. And Aleister Black, he'll be fine after this, whatever they do next. He really needs this feud to work, and you can see that he's really been putting his back into it. Just the way he looks at Aleister when he's walking up like that, disgust, like, man, why won't you just acknowledge me like that obsessive way? Like, this feud fascinates me because it's not about championships, and you can't even go to those cliched abstractions. It's about pride or honor or this and that. No, it's just a weird fucking feud in the best possible way. Like, I love that these two forces are interacting, and really, I think it's my favorite feud going on in NXT right now, which is insane to think about, given all the star power we have, and these two guys are really captivating me the most. I love this. This was for the second week in a row, because wasn't their first big segment last NXT review, or was it the week before that? Trying to think. I want to keep all my ducks in a row.
No, I don't think it was last week. I think it was prior to last week. I think it was either the week before that or maybe even the week before that.
Okay. Well, I'll say two segments for their feud in a row, because we didn't even get any updates in the last week. They have been the best part of the show that their feud has been featured on.
Exactly.
And that's a huge testament to their work. So big up to both of these guys. This was great.
Dude, I freaking loved this. Like, that elbow drop is crisp as hell, too. Like, damn, I love this whole thing. Everything about this is so good.
Yeah, completely agree with you, dude. Absolutely.
And by the way, from a character standpoint, I love that Aleister was right about Dream.
Yeah.
Because do you remember Aleister had like that interview segment where there was like a guy with a camera walking up to him and like, oh, hey, what's going on with you and Patrick and Dream? And he even referred to him as Patrick. And I think that was actually last week. And he was like, oh, I'm not going to acknowledge Patrick because all he wants is attention. And if I give that to him, it would be like giving attention to a child who's throwing a temper tantrum. And I'm not going to, acknowledge that. And now Patrick comes out and he literally just says, acknowledge me. Like, Patrick is literally doing what Aleister Black said he was doing.
Yeah. It's so good, dude. So good. And
Velveteen Dream be like, "Notice me, senpai."
yeah, acknowledge. I just love the way he said "acknowledge me." Like as soon as he said that, like my face corpsed, and I'm just like trying to hold it all together. I'm like, God damn, this feud is beautiful. This feud is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I'm loving every minute of it. And I can't wait for the matchup. Honestly,
Yeah.
I know it'll happen before Houston. I would not mind if they kept doing shit like this until Houston, and then we got the match there. Like, let's play in this goddamn sandbox, because I want to see what else these two can do with each other. So yeah, again, segment of the night tonight for me. This was amazing.
Absolutely. So then, obviously, we don't have anything that's going to top this because it was segment of the night for both of us. But we do have 2 matches left. No actual, like, cinematics or backstage or interviews or anything like that. Just 2 matches. First one, Kairi Sane versus Aaliyah. Real exhibition match for Kairi, for her to kind of remind people, like, hey, guys, I'm still here. I'm still awesome. I'm still, like, the best woman in NXT now. And Aaliyah got a little offense, but the whole thing was really just kind of about Kairi, and she did end up with hitting the spear and then the insane elbow and winning pretty easily.
Yes, she did. Oh God, I'm sorry. This is the Johnny Goodfellow segment of the evening. Hi guys. Okay, so first of all, friendship is amazing. Second of all, I am on the fast track to being best friends with Kairi Sane. I wished her happy birthday, and she liked the tweet. She knows I exist, so we're making great progress. Now, as I'm waiting for my snickerdoodles to come out of the oven, I just want to say that this match was just so great. I mean, Aaliyah, while she was a bit of a bully, and that is not nice, I have to say, I thought her psychology on the back was actually surprising, and I got into it. And then Kairi's comeback, where she thinks she's a robot, like, she is just the best, guys, the best. And then, of course, the elbow drop. You can't beat it. And I don't know. I look at her and I see happiness in its purest form. And I just wanted to share that with everybody. And I'm thinking the next time we see her, I might even write a haiku about it. And I don't know. I'm very shy, but I might share it with everyone. So yeah, that's just my review. And this was great. I loved it.
Okay.
So what came after this?
The main event of the evening, Roderick Strong versus Drew McIntyre for the NXT World Championship.
Okay, hold on a minute. Oh, okay, I just had to puke the residual goodness. Okay, now we're back in the saddle here. All right, we're talking about manly stuff. Roderick Strong versus Drew McIntyre.
Dude, you want to talk about manly? Drew McIntyre might be the single manliest being I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, hell yes. But I'm going to give you the right. Yeah.
The dude is a living, breathing Viking.
He is a beast.
Chris Hemsworth is just like, oh, I'm the perfect person to play Thor. I'm the manliest man on the planet. And Drew's just like, hold my beer.
Yeah, right. What did you think of this match, man?
I mean, yeah, the match was literally felt like a PWG or an Evolve match to me. Like, this was a really good match between 2 great workers. Roderick Strong got to show off that freaky Roderick strength that we're always talking about with him, and his ridiculous endurance, and just the Energizer Bunny of wrestling, just going at 100%, 20 minutes into a match, it felt like.
Yeah.
Incredible. And Drew, like, God, how does this guy even exist? Like, he is the biggest, most agile, he is everything that I want Donovan Dijak to be. Like, he is like this gigantic. And the thing is, the way that they shoot him makes him look so much bigger than he really is. Because he's a big guy, but he's like 6'5". Like, he's not like this freaky, like, Braun Strowman-sized guy. He's a big guy, but he's still, like, by WWE standards, he's just big. He's not huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you put him in the ring with, like, a 5'11", 6-foot-tall Bobby Roode, and like a 5'11", 6-foot-tall Roderick Strong, and like, all these 6-foot and under guys, he's gonna look like a freaking giant. And here, but the thing is, like, the way he moves, I won't say it's like a cruiserweight, but it is not something that somebody that size should be able to do, for sure. And like, even the look, like, his look has improved so much since 2012 when he left the company. like the chest hair, and he's gotten so much bulkier and more defined, and the facial hair works for him, and even like the way that his hair, it seems like his hair's gotten thicker too, and now he like lets it in his face and shit all the time, makes him look darker and grungier and like beastlier, man. Like Drew McIntyre is a freaking, I don't even know the word, because there's not a word to describe this man. It's weird. Like he's everything Matt Morgan thought he was. He is the blueprint of what a wrestler should be. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know how I can add anything to your assessment, not only of McIntyre, but this match. Like, to me, if we're thinking big picture, and I know NXT isn't just developmental anymore, but I'm always going to be of that mindset. And if you want to give a shot in the arm to one of your brands, which I think SmackDown obviously needs it more because Raw doesn't even know what to do with the talent it has for 3 hours, you give guys like Black and wait, what were you going to say?
Well, no, what I was going to say is, like, that's why I'm so annoyed that Drew is NXT champion. Like, I don't dislike Drew Galloway or Drew McIntyre as a performer or as a character or anything. I just hate that he's the champion of developmental when he's literally already held the Intercontinental Championship on the main roster before developmental was even a friggin' thing. Like,
yeah,
this, like, have him on Raw or SmackDown. They need him more than NXT does.
I'll tell you, if you would bring Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre over to SmackDown, they would be your all-star players, and they would carry that brand, and they would be amazing.
Shit, dude, SmackDown brought in Bobby Roode, and they think he's going to get over as a babyface. Like, oh, God.
Which I have big fears about that. Yeah, like, I have big fears about that, which I'll touch on more with our Hell in a Cell preview predictions that are coming this Friday. So,
at 9 p.m. EST or Eastern time. I don't know. I think EST and EDT are different things, but just Eastern time on the United States. Figure it out.
But yeah, I mean, just getting back to your overall point, like, Drew to me is just a prospect. Like you put him on any brand, he's gonna generate success. I feel like, NXT is a bit of a weirder case because I don't really know if the story worked out when he won the title, and I feel like he should be doing bigger things. But like, we know he can talk, we know he has a look, we know he can back it up in the ring. He's incredible. With Roderick, the thing about Roderick is he's a funny case where it's like, I always forget just how much I like Roderick Strong until I see Roderick Strong, because then I see him compete, and I'm just like, man.
And that's the thing too, is like, it can't just be seeing him like walking down the street or cutting a promo or anything, but seeing him in the ring reminds you exactly why you like him.
Exactly, because dude, that moment where he did like a modified backbreaker using the steel steps, like, that's the moment I really started to get invested in this match. And I say it with kind of a slight smile because we haven't gotten to that point yet, but all the while, like, when he did stuff like that and he was working over the back, I'm like, man, I feel like this match would be even better, even though it was insanely good. I'm not trying to detract, if Roddy was working heel. And that may be a reality down the road, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, great back and forth between these two. The crowd was split, but I feel like the crowd was slightly more in favor of Drew, which I think is good because he is going to be the babyface champion, the face of the brand.
That to me, that's like a ringing endorsement, because they were so behind Roddy when he was going after Bobby, and they weren't as behind Drew when he was going after Bobby as they were Roddy. So the fact that the tide has kind of turned there, and then Drew is now officially more over as a face than Roderick, is a really good sign for NXT and for Drew McIntyre.
I completely agree with you. I mean, the finishing sequence with, first of all, catching Roderick in the powerbomb.
Yes.
Dude, I'm guessing you loved it too.
To me, everything starting with Roddy's flurry of offense leading up to Drew's comeback was amazing.
Yeah.
Because, like, Roddy, like, the superplex, and then the knees, John, the freaking knees.
Yeah.
He hits the sick kick, and it's like, oh my God. Like, the commentary did a great job of really selling that sick kick as a big deal. Like, oh, we haven't seen him just resort to the sick kick in months. And then Drew kicks out of it. It's like, oh God, he has to hit the end of Heartache, this mammoth. And then Drew's comeback with the future shock DDT, and then his own version of the sick kick, which he calls the Claymore, just so good. Yeah, this was great.
I mean, Drew's emotion when he hit the future shock, then he picks Roderick up by the head and looks at him, and then he's stomping the foot. And you can even see he's contemplating, do I have it in me to pull the trigger? I have to. That's the only way he's going to go down. Like, I know it wasn't of like the same intensity or like narrative weight, but I got like Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair vibes from just Drew emoting to Roderick because he knew what beating Roderick meant. Like, here's this really passionate guy, and I have to be the one to take his dream away so that I can keep mine going. And that to me was fucking great. Like, this was an amazing NXT title bout that we got on NXT TV, which was even better. You know, I wish that would happen more, but when we do get it, you know, it does feel special. Commentary, particularly Morrow and Nigel, even though I'm not hating quite as much on Percy Watson as I used to, they really made it.
To me, like, Percy Watson is just pointless to even have there. Like, I don't understand what he brings to the table that a casual fan wouldn't bring. Like, to me, Percy Watson's perspective is, oh, I don't actually know anything about any of this stuff, but I can tell you what a normal person would say about this stuff, which, like, at that point, why even bother having him? Like,
right, because I feel like if you just had the Nigel Ronaldo dynamic, that would be so good.
Or even, like, if you had to have a third, make it somebody that actually has something to contribute that Nigel and Morrow don't. Like a really good babyface character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Morrow is more neutral. Like, he doesn't really pick a side, and obviously Nigel is much more likely to lean heel than face. So if we had just a really good babyface character out there, it would be, because, like, the thing is, Morrow, I think it was either one of the other two guys, either Morrow or Nigel, threw Percy a fastball down the middle, and he, like, they set it up for him to hit a home run, and he still managed to hit like a double. Like, he's still underwhelmed because they were like, oh, Roderick Strong has a child. You are a new father as well, Percy. What is Roderick thinking right now? And he said nothing. Like, he said words, but they meant nothing. He contributed absolutely nothing to the commentary at all.
And speaking of contributions to commentary, because that was the initial point I wanted to make, I loved how they talked about there have only been 11 NXT champions. I believe it was Morrow's point about, like, or it may have been Nigel's, about the average reign of an NXT
being like 140 some days. Yeah.
I love that.
And they even went out of their way to be like, it was Nigel that said Samoa Joe's second reign was only 14 days. And Sami Zayn, I think Morrow said about Sami Zayn's was only like 61 or 62 days, but every other championship reign has been over 100 days.
Yeah, dude.
And then they mentioned Balor's 200 and however many day one that he had.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, like, it's already been established that we really enjoy Lucha Underground commentary, you know, especially like Vampiro and all that stuff. But it's rare that, like, I hear WWE commentary and I smile and I feel like it's actually enhancing the match. This was that case because I love that they threw the stats. I love that they threw Roderick's struggle. You know, Drew having his first title defense and what that meant to him. Like, I actually felt like, wow, this is what happens when you have commentary actually adhering to their function, and it just creates a whole new dimension for me to appreciate about the match. So really just everything about it, right down to the commentary. I love this. This was so much fun to experience.
Yeah, I really do. Like, to me, commentary, and it was entirely Morrow and Nigel, but commentary really did make this match go from big fight feel to the biggest deal.
Yeah. Yeah, which I loved them for that.
They made this match feel like it was Roderick Strong's last chance at life.
Yeah, they even said, I think they even had like a line more or less like implying the same thing. Like, you know, is Roderick ever going to get another chance after this? Like, is this his last chance at bat, so to speak? And I love that. I love that. Like, because I always talk about, like,
I'm telling you, man, like, the dumbest move I think Vince, well, I shouldn't say the dumbest move Vince ever made because he's made so many bad moves, but a really dumb move that he's made in recent months, years, however long it's been, is picking JBL over Morrow. And now JBL's out anyway, but Morrow isn't going back to SmackDown because now he's in NXT, and he makes the product so much better.
He does. He does. And Nigel's starting to grow. I mean, at first I'm like,
absolutely. I like
yeah.
Nigel, and I think that when he first started, it was more a case of him needing to get familiar with the characters and the product. And now that he is kind of settled in and ingrained with the product, he's killing it. He's doing so well. And I love his insights also, like a William Regal type, as far as like his insights on what moves hurt what parts.
Yeah, I'm so thankful you said that, because that's something I wouldn't have even picked up on, but you're right, because
he was the one that pointed out that like Kairi Sane's spear damaged Aaliyah's ribs to set her up for the elbow drop.
Yes, yes. And that's such a great point you made, dude, because I think I've mentioned to you and other people that like I've used my my network subscription, because I'm on a free trial right now, to go back and watch some Cesaro matches, and I watched one with him and Sami Zayn in NXT, and William Regal was on commentary, and he had that same commentary style, and I loved
yes.
And
it must just be a British guy thing.
Yeah, but I love him for that, though. I love it. I love that they really pay attention to like the scientific aspect of, oh, well, this move does this, and like this, like it's. That's what I want. I love that shit. Like that's the shit I grew up
and like
on,
to me, like that's the good side of Matt Stryker's commentary too, but the bad outweighs it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like Matt Stryker does that stuff too, but then like he also does a bunch of terrible, awful, annoying shit too.
I see. That's the thing. Like, if Matt could only like tone it down, because I feel like you're right. Like he does bring that stuff, but then he'll like go and he'll do like these over the top metaphors and like try and really be colorful. And to me, it misses more than it hits. But with Morrow and Nigel, they're so grounded in the moment, and they keep it to the match. They're not trying to be hyperbolic because they trust the match to speak for itself. And I think it's that trust in product, you know, when they're just able to really focus on it and give us the experience we want, that really just makes it fantastic. So all around, this is a great bout. And then after the match, you have Roderick and Drew. They shake hands, the show of respect. And then my heart just soared, but I'm going to give you the reins here. Roderick goes up to the stage, and he's met by the Undisputed Era. Yep. What did you think about this, man?
It's not just that he's met by the Undisputed Era, because like he sees, you know, the Undisputed Era show up, and they talk to him, and they're just like, oh man, tough break, and Adam Cole gives him like a pat on the shoulder, and then they just kind of walk away. But what I loved, like goosebump inducing to me, Drew sees this, and Roderick does like this snapback, like, oh shit, I didn't want Drew to see me interacting with these guys that have been attacking him over the last month. But then Drew does see it, and he says, you're better than that, like under his breath. And then he realizes, like, wait a minute, I'm the NXT champion. I can say whatever the hell I want. And he screams, you're better than that, like twice. I was just like, oh my God, yes, this is so good. Dude, here's the dumb thing. I did not want Drew McIntyre to win the championship because I thought there were better options. But right now, I love him as NXT champion, if for no other reason, because he's just entertaining as hell. I wish he was on the main roster, but at the same time, if he'd go to the main roster, they'd find a way to screw him up.
Yeah. I mean, it really hasn't been a bad run. I feel like the right pieces are in play in terms of like, does he have good obstacles? Yes, because it's Adam fucking Cole, baby. Is he like a great face that can like talk and have that fire? Hell yes. And does he know how to be a face as champion? Again, that whole moment of you're better than that. You're damn right he does. Like honestly, he may be one of the best baby faces in the company right now. Because I think
that's the thing though, is like to me, like I wish Drew and Jinder were switching spot. Like I want Drew to be WWE champion. Like I want Drew challenging Brock for the Universal title. I wouldn't blink an eye at that. I wouldn't think like, oh, he's outmatched, he doesn't have the credibility or whatever. It's Drew freaking McIntyre. He's huge. He's bigger than Brock. Like that's the thing. He is legit bigger than Brock, and maybe not as much bigger than Brock as Braun Strowman, but he's not like this mindless killing machine like Strowman, and he's a hell of a lot more agile than Strowman too. So like, dude, I could believe Drew challenging Brock. I could believe Drew as WWE or Universal champion, and I want him in that position. But no, let's just stick him down in developmental, even though he's literally already held a championship on the main roster and needs no developing whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most well-rounded performers you have in your developmental program, which, again, I know people would retort, well, it's not totally developmental, but that was how it was conceived. And that's how I'm always going to look at it.
I absolutely hate the oxymoron that is NXT, because to me, it's trying to have its cake and eat it too. Are you developmental? And if so, Why is a former Intercontinental champion on the main roster your champion in developmental? Or are you your own brand? And if that's the case, then why are you shoving acts like Aaliyah and Liv Morgan and Riddick Moss in my face when they're clearly not ready for a television product yet?
Exactly. It really is, and we've talked about that that tension, that schism between we're this, but we're also this. That's really been a hindrance to the product. But I mean, we are getting a run right now that's good, but it comes with that price of we know he could be working with the likes of a Jinder, getting a huge pop if he ended his reign, or if he confronted Brock Lesnar, that would get, I think, an interesting pop if you give him enough mic work. Because seeing him like spar with a guy like Heyman, I know he could hold his own. Like Drew is a well-rounded performer, and Roderick, just kind of shifting the focus on him for a second.
Dude, I'm not even. I might. This might sound like an exaggeration, but I don't think it is. I think Drew should be in the spot Roman Reigns is in right now.
I've been thinking that for a while. Like the last few minutes we've been talking.
Drew isn't gonna flub his lines like freaking Roman does, and his delivery is objectively more entertaining than Roman's, unless you like things that are so bad they're good. As if you were like, no, I like The Room way more than I like The Dark Knight. Like that kind of person would probably like Roman more than Drew. But other than that, no, Drew is better.
Yeah. If you're looking for a face, I think not only does he check all the boxes that Roman Reigns checked, which really the only boxes that in my mind Roman Reigns checks with any confidence as a face would be his look. And I don't think his in-ring is bad, but I think Drew's is better if you want like my honest opinion.
Yeah.
But do I think Roman would be a great heel foil for a guy like Drew? Hell the fuck yes. But we're never going to get that. This is what we're getting right now. And kudos to Drew that he's making it work. But I love that, the Undisputed Era, because I'll be honest with you, dude, I guess because I've gotten so acclimated with it with NXT between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and of course, most recently, excuse me. Oh, Jesus. Ciampa and Gargano, that I thought that Roddy was going to turn around and they were immediately going to jump him. And I love, first of all, that they didn't do that, but that Cole's smiling and he's trying to get in Roderick's head, like, oh, you know who you are. You should be champion. He shouldn't be champion. And Drew, or excuse me, Roddy, to his credit, doesn't shove him away, doesn't explicitly exclaim, oh, get the hell out. I don't want to hear it from you. No, he's really contemplating it. And that, again, feeds into the effectiveness of Drew saying, to your point, you're better than that. Because again,
I think that it also plays into Roderick's character being that knowing that he's at the end of the rope now, he just lost what might have been his last opportunity at NXT World Title. What does he have left to lose? He needs to support his family, and if that means joining a heel faction, he might be willing to resort to that.
Yeah, I mean, dude. Because again, all the while watching that match, I'm like, man, if Roderick was a heel and he would be even more malicious on that back, this might even be a match of the year contender, which it was close to that for me, even without this, because I love the drama and just how perfectly they complemented each other. And then that tease, I'm like, yes, because if Roderick's been an 8 out of 10 or even a 7 out of 10, if you want to be a bit more harsh as far as his in-ring and his presentation as a face, I think we could see a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 with him as a heel, because I loved his heel work in PWG, and the idea that him and Adam Cole could be on the same team but done differently, probably not as antagonistic as PWG, actually really gets me excited. I think we're in for some great stuff for TakeOver Houston. Again, it is a conundrum because you've got these high-powered guys that really shouldn't even be here, but we might as well enjoy the ride while we're on it. And that's what I'm going to try and do. I mean, a heel Roderick Strong with the Undisputed Era is a great fucking time to me. And I can't wait to see who Drew challenges at Houston, because I still think it's going to be Adam Cole. But if it isn't Adam Cole, well, that's a big question mark then, isn't it? So, yeah, that was our main event. I've got nothing else to say about it. Unless you do, we can move on to our next segment.
Let's go.
All right. High spots and low shots. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go with the most obvious low shot, Roderick Strong. They really built this up that this was going to be his last chance for a good while at the NXT Championship, and he lost. So, what other recourse does he have? To my cohort and commentary's point, it might just be the Undisputed Era. But for now, this was a low night for Roderick Strong. Hence, he is my low shot. So who's your low shot?
That's definitely fair. My low shot, a little bit more simple, but really unfortunate to me, the Iconic Duo, because Man, you guys just cannot beat Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, can you?
No, you cannot. And God, I feel so bad for the iconic duo. Like, normally I take pleasure in my
Better than this.
Yeah, you're bad, exactly. But now for my high spot, because I have to, Kairi Sane, because she's wonderful and she won tonight and she's gonna be NXT Women's Champion. And anybody that tries to take it from her, well, let me just say, you're an insensitive feelings herder. But yes, she is my high spot, and she'll be my high spot till the end of time. So, who is your high spot?
Drew McIntyre. Let's move along.
All right. Well, with that, oh wait, though, isn't it the rule? I mean, Adam Cole was on the show tonight, so is he at least your honorary high spot?
Well, Drew is my honorary high spot. You know this.
Oh, okay. God, Adam Cole's so wonderful.
Adam Cole's existence in a show means he's automatically my high spot. We've been through this before.
I know. And just to update everybody, I didn't wake up as Adam Cole today. So it's another day where, like James, I probably low-key want to die. So with that
said.
Very
low-key, though. Very low-key.
Very low-key, because there's always the chance that I could wake up as Adam Cole tomorrow, which is the only reason I'm living. So with that said, do you have any concluding remarks about NXT tonight before I take us home?
No, but it was a really fun show, and you go ahead.
All right, guys, with that said, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary. Guys, be sure to comment, subscribe, and like the video. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Very quickly, all of our media is in the description box. The two things that I want to plug very quickly: Teespring. You know our two latest offerings. First of all, the most recent one, the Evolution t-shirt. WWE Shop has not given Emma a t-shirt, so my cohort and commentary did what WWE doesn't have the balls to do, and that's give Emma that merch. I think it's one of the best shirts he's made. So if you're a hardcore Emma fan, or you just want to support women's wrestling, and you know she's one of the best women's wrestlers to me in the world right now, go buy that shirt. It's on Teespring. If you're more of a Braun Strowman fan and you want to show that ruggedness, that beastliness that you possess, we have an "I'm not finished with you" t-shirt. And yeah, I think it's great. You know, show everybody in your life, every obstacle in your life, that you're not finished with it. And we also have a litany of other offerings at our Teespring store, everything from Scum Squad stickers all the way to "because he's a father, damn it" t-shirts. So check out the Teespring. Patreon, you guys already know the big goal: Progress Live reactions. We want to start doing them every Tuesday like we used to do with SmackDown live reactions, but we stopped those because honestly, the quality had dropped immensely. You know what quality doesn't drop? Progress, because it's fucking amazing. The goal is 120. We're currently sitting at $88. I know that'll fluctuate right back because we know some people had banking issues this month, so I know that number won't last, but all the same, anybody that has never donated or has been thinking, man, I'd like Progress Live reactions from TWitWoW in my sub box, this is your chance to shine, baby. And how can you shine the easiest way? $3. Because $3 gives you Discord access. I think it's the most intimate experience we are offering our fan base. To me, it goes beyond Twitter, because with the Discord, you get to come together with some of the most passionate TWitWoW fans, as well as Ashton and myself, two of the most glorious faces to ever grace the internet. And we could talk about anything in the Discord. There's a general chat. There's the wrestling chat. There's a not suitable for work tab, which, I mean, I thought James was the king of it, but Ashton told me on our Lucha Underground review that everybody kind of gets in on that. I need to get in on it. I have not suitable for work stuff I'd like to talk about. So if you have not suitable for work stuff you'd like to talk about, or anything, $3 a month for the Discord. And here's the thing, guys. Not only do you get Discord access, not only do you help us, and by extension the TWitWoW community, get new content that's quality and Progress Live reactions by helping us reach our $120 goal. But if you're thinking to yourself, well, what about me? Well, another thing for you is if you stay in the Discord for 10 months, that would be $30. And the $3 every month that you stay in the Discord, that accrues. And after 10 months, you'd have $30. You know what you can do for that? You can cash that in. You can have us do a live reaction to a 3-hour show. Like, you have content control.
Or
there is no greater.
Here's an even more interesting option. You can use after, you know, because John said 10 months. Well, after 3 months, or after 4 months, I should say, you'll have $12 accrued. You can spend 10 of that to get us to live react to an NXT show from the early parts of 2013 that John never saw and I never reacted to. And then oh, 3 weeks later, 7 weeks in now, you can do it again. And then another 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after that, you can do it again. Like, they're only an hour long, so it would only be a $10 live reaction. And you could, I mean, hell, if you want to just donate $10 a month, you could get us to pump those out for you every single month.
Exactly. And hell, $10 a month. I mean, goddamn, that would be amazing for us. I'd get to fill in the gaps of my of my NXT experience. So yeah, guys, the power is yours is essentially my point.
Wow.
When you're able to donate.
You know, for somebody that really hates Captain Planet, you sure do quote him a lot.
Won't you fucking judge me right now? But yeah, guys, the power is yours. And I feel like that was He-Man, but I guess it was Captain Planet. Either way, they both deserve to be shanked. Regardless, yeah, guys, I'm excited about our Patreon, the direction of it, because we have this goal. I'm really jazzed about it. I believe in you guys to help us get there. So let's get there. And yeah, the only thing I'm going to plug most immediately, of course, guys, Friday, Hell in a Cell preview and predictions. I actually have quite a bit I want to say about this show. Yeah, I'm not even going to show my hand, and I know Ashton isn't either. You know, you gotta wait for it, guys. You gotta wait for it to drop. We'll be going live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. You guys can do the math for the rest. I mean, you can consult Mark Schoeneman. He does mathematics. He can help you out. But then beyond that, I want to plug Q&A. Q&A now, of course, you guys know, is the last Thursday of every month. So this Q&A will be October 26th. You guys know, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Discord. Submit your questions for a Q&A. Everybody's permitted up to 4 questions per Q&A, and you can divvy them up however you like. You guys have started to really understand our interests and stuff by now, so I know that there are some specialized questions. I know just this recent Q&A, Ashton got a question about football, and everybody's always looking for Johnny Scumbag to ruin somebody's life, which I always do gleefully. So yeah, guys, go nuts. Always interested to hear what you guys have to say for Q&A. And until then, we'll see you again Friday. Again, we go live at 9 for Hell in a Cell preview and predictions. Until then, tune in and peace out.